Hi, my name is Dammika Abeyratne. We are now at Boris Garden Farm at Rambukkana. I started this about 8 years ago, and when I bought this place, it was only a coconut land and covered with a jungle and bushes. So I cleared all the unwanted jungles and bushes and created this farm as economic with a lot of economical values into it. When I bought this one, it's all a coconut plantation.
Okay.
And
Was it
it
an intercrop?
had gone into jungles actually,
All
not
right.
maintained properly. So I made use of that opportunity
Right.
and created the forest garden by keeping useful plants
Right.
and trees,
Right.
and added on whatever the useful crops and allow it naturally grow
Right.
according to the forest garden concept.
Right.
And huge varieties of species, plants, herbs,
Right.
and medicinal herbs, edible herbs,
Right.
and yams. So many things
Right.
in this plant.
What's the top layer?
The top canopy. Top canopy is coconut
Right.
and jack trees
Right.
and other timber trees.
Right.
Then
Right.
you get the upper lower canopy that has some the rambutan trees.
Right.
Then veraloo,
Right.
avocado,
Right.
cardamom,
Right.
nutmeg,
Right.
that kind of trees.
So these are pretty much perennial fruit trees,
yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And then you get the middle canopy, almost certain things like oranges,
Right.
papaya,
Right. And guava, of course.
Guava.
Right. Yes.
and so many other timber trees, and you can't name so many.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get the lower canopy, where you get all the bushes like the lemon, lime,
Right.
then other
And citronella and all those.
banana,
Right.
that kind of thing. Then the ground level,
Right.
surface of the ground, you get all the vegetables,
Right.
lemongrass,
Right.
pineapple,
Right.
and then other yam varieties just like that. And then you get the underground, mostly the yam, and the other creepers like passion fruit.
Right. Hybrid seeds are allowed, right? I mean, you can.
It
do
is
hybrid-
allowed,
yeah.
but certain things like the carrot, beet, and all, we have no way of producing seeds.
Yeah.
So
So we
that
have to
those things-
rely on
We have
hybrid
to
seeds.
rely on those things, but we treat it.
Right.
We buy the seeds and put it on vinegar for a day,
Right.
wash it off, and then put it to the
Right.
ground.
And another significant thing which I notice is that when you look at the ground, you never sweep. Right?
Yes.
You allow everything to decompose, whatever the.
The concept here is actually it has to be sustained by itself, and whatever the leaves are falling on the ground, it will get decomposed and adding value and nutritional properties required for the growth of the plants. And in addition to that, actually, when you are running a forest garden, the basic two principles actually all the trees and the species are fighting for their survival.
Right.
Somehow they find their way and
Yes.
try to survive and grow.
Yeah.
But there is a competition, competition for lights and competition for manure.
Manure. Yes.
So with that only the stronger tree will grow,
Yes.
and the weak tree will become stagnated and will
Yes.
not be grown. But
So-
what we do is, and if we find any weak point for a useful tree, then we give them the required light by trimming off the top canopy.
Right. Okay.
We trim off the top canopy and give the adequate light. But in addition to that, if there is a competition for manure, then we put additional manure
Okay.
into the area
Yeah.
and allow that tree also to survive and grow well.
So Dammika, I understand this is an interesting and a significant tree in your forest garden. Can you explain this one?
Yeah, this is a fruit which has so much of nutritional properties,
Right.
like vitamin A.
Right.
And now what happened was that recently it has been abandoned and no one use it. But I have introduced this to market,
Right.
and there's a good demand for that one.
Right. So
And
you
now everybody
introduced-
is getting used to it, and we are recultivating it.
You introduced this as the fresh fruit, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you can see the yellow color
Right.
with lot of vitamin A,
Right.
and so many other.
Right.
And
And we usually call this lavalu, right?
Lavulu.
Right.
It's called lavulu.
And you have different
Excellent.
varieties of it as well?
Different varieties in the sense the shape and the size of the fruit, but more than 4 or 5 varieties.
This is the biggest one. Yeah. Biggest
No,
variety.
there are one which is bigger and longer.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Some are smaller and longer,
Right.
and this is actually round shape.
Right. Okay. So Dammika, is this a fruit or a vegetable?
You can call it both. It can be a fruit, it can be a vegetable also. So the leaves can be used in cooking
Okay.
and mix with dal curry
Right.
or any other curry, and or make a chutney and eat it with sour taste.
Okay.
And the fruit can be used in making jams and fruit drinks.
Okay. So there's quite a lot of value addition that you can
so
do.
much of
with it.
economical benefit of this tree if we spread and grow well. We can create a additional commodity for export market.
Oh.
It's very famous in India.
Okay.
Everything I considered and selected this. Now if you look at this area you get all dry zone items.
Yes, of course. I mean, especially these.
Yes, and delung.
Yeah.
Delung, oranges, narang, and lime. All those are dry zone items, and this area is like a dry zone.
Right.
And for survival of itself, actually, there is one good example. What we do is we plant cowpea, which collect a lot of nitrogen from the atmosphere.
Yes.
And settle it down to the. I think this is after harvesting.
Right.
All these cowpea trees will fall onto the ground, get it decomposed, and produce required nitrogen.
Right. It's a nitrogen sequestration tree, right?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Dammika, this is a fully organically certified land, right?
Yes.
And what certificates did you have?
As soon as I started, after about 1.5 years time, I did the soil testing and identified no chemical residues or anything. It was clear. And then I applied for certification of local certification body, Sri Lanka Organic Agriculture Movement, which they issued
research certification.
Yes. And last year I applied for control union.
Right.
And I have got the certification from control union for US market USDA. And EU market EU certification and JAS.
Yeah, so you got all three.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. And what are you exporting at the moment?
Mostly herbal teas and spices.
Right. And spices, what?
Like pepper, ginger, turmeric.
Right. And these are dried foam,
cloves,
powder?
Cardamom. He needs the powder as well as the dried whole fruit.
Right.
Cardamom, I sent whole thing, and nutmeg also. He need whole nut as well as the powder.
Right. And right now you are using the basic methods of sun drying and everything?
Sun drying, and I have a small dryer. So it's fueled by sawdust.
Okay.
And the next level is to setting up the
you can talk about it. Tell us more about it.
Processing factory in whole.
Right.
And
it's going to be in this
importing
land.
some required machinery and do the packaging up to the last customer.
Right.
And have different value addition methods. For example, like pepper, you can make black pepper, white pepper, and green pepper in vinegar. Likewise, so many versions to the last consumer packaging.
Right.
So that down the line, the value chain, major part of the value comes to the country.
Right. Of course.
And also it's very convenient for the distributor in other countries. So they don't need to spend money on processing and packing.
Right. Mr. Dammika, now beehives are an important component of forest garden system concept, right? Yeah. And what we are seeing here is a wild colony.
Yes.
Can you explain the benefit of it?
Actually, if you want to take the real natural effect of the bees, it has to be allowed them to be like in nature.
Okay.
But if you put a box, what the problem is, you separate them, and you are keeping them under control, and it's not their natural behavior.
Right.
For our economic benefit, we separate the bee colony into two sections. One section is only pure honey, the other section is for the breeding purpose.
Yes.
So by doing that one, what happens is, if the breeding section is full, they have there's a limit in breeding.
Yes.
And the expansion is limited. But this one, we don't limit anything.
Right.
As long as the space is available, they do breeding as well as collecting honey.
Right.
And they consume more honey.
Right.
And they become very strong bees.
Right. Which is the natural way.
Yes. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen is you control them having adequate food, and you are trying to bring them with under control environment, which is the natural environment.
Right.
So we keep these things here and there for us to actually produce more and more colonies.
Right.
This is a cardamom bush. Now the harvesting is over. It's relaxing for the next season. After the next rain, it will start blooming, and we harvest cardamom. It's coming from the jam.
And Mr. Dammika, this is a liquid fertilizer that you make in the farm, right?
Yes, we produce here itself.
Right. Can you
more
explain
than
what is in
fertilizer?
there?
Actually, this is a biostimulant.
Okay.
stimulate the growth of plant
Right.
and maintain the fertilizer required. Actually, it helps absorb whatever the nitrogen and other nutrient content in the soil and atmosphere, and feeding it to the plant and allow the plant to grow very well.
What you have inside?
This is made out of some extract from leaves.
Right.
5 kinds of leaves.
Right.
We extract from this one and ferment it using molasses.
Mr. Dammika, what are these?
This is called biochar. So another term, that's activated carbon. And this is this is made out of firewood.
Okay.
And what we do is this outer portion we cover with paddy husk, and inside there is a small barrel. You collect firewood and put it inside.
Okay.
And between two small barrel and the big barrel, we set fire at a low heat. It get heated for long period for about 6-7 hours. And this one, there won't be fire inside this.
Right.
It's because of the heat, it becomes charcoal.
Right. And how do you use it for
This is
cultivation
used
purposes?
in so many purposes. Activated carbon can be used for human use, for taking off all the toxin.
Right. Right.
And also we are using the same purposes for taking out whatever the toxin and the unwanted chemical residues in the soil.
Oh.
So that soil become free of toxin.
Right.
And also this is used for retain the water in the soil.
Right.
And if you bury this along a coconut tree, it will retain water for a longer period.
Right.
And so you can have better crop from that.
Good.
This is vanilla. And the vanilla, if you want to take a proper harvest, you have to train the vine properly. And if you don't control it, it will go even up to the coconut tree, and that will then it's practically very difficult for us to get the proper harvest. What we do is we allow that vine to go up to that point and take it down, and also allow that to touch the ground, and again take it up like that, making some loops like this. And that it has to be in the normal human reach. Maybe with a small ladder we should be able to reach for pollination purpose. And during the month of January and February, we cut the trees, the branches of this, and reduce the shade and allow that to be stressed by the sun. And by end March you get the inter-monsoon rain, and with the rain it will start blooming. Then we have to do manual pollination and allow that to bear fruits. And if you don't train it, that operation will be difficult. After that, after 6 months, we harvest it, and curing process will take about 2.5 months. And it's also a tedious process. We have to manage without it getting the fungicide damaging the fruit, and allow that to dry properly. And once it is dried, you should be able to wrap it around your finger, and it will come back to normal. Then it's properly dry. After that, you have to pack and do. The next level is maybe if we are extracting essence. We have still not started it. Next level is taking essence.